It's really weird just starting to talk to one of these because I know while I'm making this video, no one's really watching. But I thought it might be a good idea to put together something explaining what happened to the AshGUTZ name and why I have begun using Creative Mending. I've been doing a lot of reading since I moved to Portland, and I've been doing a lot of searching for what could be good for everybody, not just for me. I really want to start talking to people more about chasing their dreams. So the best way that I'm trying to attain it is by dropping the single name I had and using this creative mending thing. And I didn't really take the time to create a video and tell anybody beforehand because I was so excited about the whole change and overwhelmed that I decided to just kind of change everything. And I think in that it confused some people and they're just wondering where this weird name came from. And I wanted to put together not just a video, but something a little bit more organic than recording the same stuff over and over again into my whole entire setup on the computer. So I'm using the cell phone and I'm talking live. That way I can show you all the nervous parts about me and explore all of the really important parts as well. So I am a web administrator by day. I do a lot of computer stuff. I have always been interested in web design and the way that the internet can make anything we want reachable. I started creating websites through something called WordPress. It's just a CMS and it manages all sorts of data for you. You can use WordPress for free online, but I immediately was limited by the fact that I couldn't have an e-commerce solution through my website because I knew for everything I intended on doing, I would have to possibly be able to sell stuff and keep track of those sales. So I immediately taught myself how to use FTP, file transfer protocol, really simple process for migrating thousands and potentially millions of files, I'm sure. I wanted to be able to bring all of that knowledge to everybody I meet because I have met many of people in my small 26 years of life, many of people that are fully capable of running a business from home, but they don't realize that it's sitting right in front of them. If they were just to take that extra time, and it's not possible for everybody. Some people are parents, some people have certain limitations physically, emotionally, that keep them from going out and chasing those dreams. I know for the longest time, my issue has been using social media. I understand the importance of it for all my website stuff, and marketing's just really important by all means for anything that you're trying to do, because if you market yourself correctly, then I have the best faith in anyone that is willing to go out there and try and make something possible. Because as soon as you try, as soon as you believe, this is mine, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is where we're going, that's what you decide to do. So all of that said, I dropped AshGUTZ so I could start talking more about these kinds of things and not having to be limited to the single artist name anymore. When I sat down and started jotting down hundreds of little keywords that would help me decide what the new brand name was going to be, I sat there for days. I poured myself over it how I would pour myself over a really good book. I asked myself questions that were probably really weird to anybody else that had possibly tried to understand them. But they were all very important in figuring out what sounded correct. So Creative Mending fell in my lap. I was running 4 different websites at one time trying to decide what was going to sound original, what was going to sound unique. And I think Creative Mending came to mind because everything I do, everything I've taught myself, the job that I do by day, working on websites,
I was only like 14 when I started teaching myself that kind of stuff. I know you can go to college for it, but I just needed to know even before I was actually capable of trying to go out and learning how to do it. And I'm really excited because I feel like there's a lot more room for me to talk about a lot of my lifestyle changes. Like, I suffer from all sorts of issues with my stomach. It's not uncommon nowadays. Lots of people have digestive issues. It's definitely diet related. When people tell you that, they're saying the same thing over and over again because it's true. And so I have been experimenting a lot with cooking and definitely reading more magazines and more publications online. And I want to start talking about those other publications, putting other people just like me that sit at home every day whenever they're not at their part-time, or maybe they're devoting full-time to it, and just basically like working your butt off for any spark you can. So it's really important for me that they not only feel whole, and if they never felt broken to begin with, just feeling creative. That's where the two words just kind of came together, creative mending. What's also cool is it leaves a lot of room for all the sewing stuff that I've been doing. So I taught myself how to sew. And then I'm also super interested in doing more tutorials for like the doll repaints. I know that's everyone's big thing, and I'm really happy that so many people are interested in how I repaint dolls. Have you ever heard of Monster High dolls? That's what I do on the side as well. It's really fun. It's really addicting. Basically just taking a doll and you wipe off all of its face, all of its factory makeup, and then you repaint it after you've do some generous prep work. I think I devote half of my time for my repaints into prep work. That's why I've hesitated to create the tutorial, because I know a lot of it is not that interesting, and the actual build up of the doll face, it always looks so weird when I'm actually working on it. So I've recorded tons of videos. I've just not, whenever I go to review them and I'm trying to edit them, I'm just like, man, this just does not look good. Like, I need to hire somebody that does specifically like video stuff. And then I'd probably be in a better situation with that whole thing. But I'm really excited to keep using Periscope, and I really appreciate all the people that happen to just be watching me doing this right now, because you probably have no idea what I'm doing it for. But if anyone is interested, of course, this is the lovely view that I get to check out while I'm sitting here reading. And if anybody wants a good suggested reading, by the way, I will throw this one in here. I do plan on talking about this one pretty soon. One of the other videos on my channel was me reviewing a book. It was the Michael Hampton's figure drawing book. And you know, that video had a lot of views on it, so I figured maybe I'll do some more of them. I had planned on doing 3 video reviews on some Andrew Loomis books and one other pretty expensive book that I imported. And whenever I moved to Portland, I had went ahead and tried out Media Mail for the first time, and I very much regret doing that, because I lost all the books that I had crunched on reading so that I could do the video reviews for them. So there's that with the other books. But that's why I'm cramming on these books, so that I have other books to talk about pretty soon. Since the Andrew Loomis books are kind of out of there, though. But for anyone that's interested, they are super awesome. I can tell you that I just don't have the physical book anymore to show you what the inside looks like. Basic workbook setup. But guy's super awesome. He'll teach you a lot if you're interested in any sort of drawing, really. It's figure drawing for anatomy is more focused on, you know, breaking down the physical anatomy proportions of the human body. The other one I had was creative illustration, which I didn't get all the way through before the move and before losing the books. But that one seemed to be more in the perspective of, like, you know, if you want to be an illustrative artist, getting used to what it's going to feel like to have agents. And it's still the like basic workbook setup, but it's really cool because he actually has all sorts of little setups, if you will, you know, what people might ask of you, weird questions that you might get, especially in terms of like color, format. It's really cool. They're really good books, well worth the price. I just wish I had the physical ones to actually show everybody. But the Michael Hampton book did make it, which I think is awesome because I love that book. And obviously I loved it enough to make the first book review. Yeah, I'm glad that book made it. There's some other pretty good books that I'd like to talk about at some point. But so yeah, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll be able to get this video up soon, letting everyone know what happened to the AshGUTZ thing and what's creative mending all of a sudden, and possibly make more videos like this, talking to you guys. I mean, I was even thinking, like reading, like physically reading. I don't know if that'd be weird though. Like, would people be into something like that? Like, yeah, I'd go to Periscope and this girl reads to me. What does she read to you? I don't know, these books talk about stuff, usually business type stuff, entrepreneur type stuff, creative, imaginative type stuff. I don't know. But still, doing stuff that abides by society's rules, trying to find that balanced ground somewhere in between, like, live for myself, do what I want, but at the same time, abide by your rules to an extent. You don't have to know about the ones that break, stuff like that. So, talk to you guys later. Thanks so much.